Howdy. Today we're going to be looking at the Deadeye Walkers expansion for Zombicide Black Plague. Let's go ahead and get the box open. We have rules, we have spawn cards, and we have 20 models inside. Let's start by looking at the models. There we go, it focused in. These models are pretty detailed. You can see the different layers of clothing that he has. You can see some ribs. You can see all the armor he's wearing, a cloak. He's got his arrows off to the side. I think they did a lot of work on these models, and it shows. This guy's getting ready to fire at something. He already has an arrow notched, and I like this pose. I think it's pretty cool. The next pose that we have is of a skeleton that might be in melee combat. He's got a knife drawn, he's got his bow off to the side, but I think he's getting ready to stab somebody. Our final pose is of a skeleton. Maybe he's getting ready to shoot something, or maybe he's just at the ready because he might have heard a noise. You know how zombies like noise. Alright, that covers the models you get in the box. The next thing we're going to look at is the spawn cards. Let's see if I can get these guys out. Alright, in this box you get 6 spawn cards. And I know 6 might seem like a small number, but these zombies can actually attack you from range. And because they can attack you from range, it's going to change how the game plays. So you don't want them coming up too often. So I think 6 for a number of spawn cards is actually a good number. You won't be seeing them all the time, but you will be seeing them. And at every level you get zombies. So it's not like we're going to have nothing in sight on the blue range. If you look through these, I think there's even the occasion where you get 3 skeletal archers in the blue range. And that can be pretty scary. Now let's go ahead and see how these guys play. Well, before we do that, let's look at the targeting priority. These guys can shoot you at range, so it's really good that you can shoot them back at range. Their targeting priority is 1. They're on the same level as Walker. So if a cell has Walkers and Deadeye Walkers, you get to choose where to put the damage when attacking from range. So that's going to be really important. Let's go over the basic rules real quick. Minimum damage to destroy, 1. Experience points, 1. Deadeye Walkers have the same targeting priority as Walkers. Deadeye Walkers attack whenever they activate while having line of sight on a survivor or more at range 0 to 3. Then they perform a standard zombie attack on the designated zone. If several zones are eligible, they choose their target according to these priorities. 1. The zone with the most survivors. 2. The noisiest zone. So the noisiest and the most survivors may not always be the same. 3. If all eligible zones have the same amount of survivors and noise, the players choose where the arrows go. That's pretty important. So it's nice when we get some choice. Kind of like when a necromancer has to move and he can go 2 ways, the players get to decide. Alright, let's see some of these guys in action and see what they look like on the field. Alright, I've set up this scenario to kind of demonstrate how the archers attack. So what I'm going to do is, it's the player's turn now, and Thread's going to move forward. 1, 2, and maybe he wants to kill zombies. This is what we'd typically do on a turn. We'd move forward, we'd kill zombies, especially since Thread's so good at doing it. He's a barbarian, he gets to attack twice because there are 2 zombies there, and we killed 1. So Thread's set up, and then next turn he'll have a lot of zombies on that square, and we'll roll a ton of dice. So he should be able to kill a lot of zombies next turn. Alright, now with Shahira, we're going to move forward. We move forward, and maybe we're like, hey, we're going to drop some of those zombies over there. She rolls, she kills 1. And that all looks really great. So this turn moved pretty good. She's got a longbow, she popped one of the archers, and we move into the zombie turn. Thread would get bit once, which isn't that big a deal. These zombies would move forward. And on the next turn, he would be in a really good situation to kill those. But these archers still have to go. When they activate, they have to shoot something. And remember, their range 0 through 3. So 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. They can hit either one of these guys. The noise level is the same, so they'll get to choose their target. But either way, it's a pretty bad choice. I mean, Thread's at 2 health. If you attack him, he's dead. And if you attack her, let's say she's at full health. She's going to take 2 damage. And not only will she take 2 damage, on the next turn, Thread might not get out of this cell, and there's going to be 3 zombies here now. So these guys are pretty scary. So you got to keep a range of 4 or more away from these guys. Otherwise, they're just like plinking you with arrows nonstop. And their range is 0 through 3. Most of our beginning archery weapons are only range 0 or 1. So they can hit us better than we can hit them. They're pretty scary. On this situation, what we should have done, and it would have been longer and probably a little bit more boring, but under this scenario, how we should have played this is we should have run from these zombies. Now, we don't want to just run off the board and be cowards. We want to be moving forward always. So what we would do is we'd move up and move into this building. 1, 2, and if there's not a door over here, it would have been really amazing had I put a door here, because then we could like skirt around. But if there's not a door and we're under this scenario, we just kind of wait a couple turns for the zombies to come to us. Maybe Shahira, she moves forward. Instead of firing twice, she fires once. 6. You put down a zombie, and then we hide in the building. So the zombies have to walk towards us, and they don't get free pop shots. This is going to be very important when you're playing against archers, because you have to think about where they can shoot from. They got a range of 3, which is ridiculous. You have to stay out of line of sight of these guys. Alright, that about covers this scenario. And one thing that happened to me that I didn't really think about, which I should have, but I didn't really think about in one of my videos. Alright, great. This is very similar to what happened to me on my mission a while back ago. I had an archer up here that was just killing stuff, and I felt pretty good about myself. But what had happened was, in a previous turn, these archers had moved 1 towards her. And actually, I think they should have split under this scenario because equal distance. So they move here. And then, on my next turn, I was like, hey, these walkers are coming. I decimate these walkers. One thing you got to think about, when you're on a rampart, you have line of sight out, but they also have line of sight in. So on the next turn, 2 damage is going to be coming into me if I would have went ahead and attacked these guys instead. So you always have to keep track of where the archers are and if they can hit you or not. And under this scenario, if I wanted to attack these zombies, what I should have done is attack these zombies twice, maybe kill them both, or if there were 3, attack twice, then move once to be out of line of sight. That way they don't get to pop me. So it's going to be this game where as these guys move, now they can see her, you move here, you shoot this guy, you call it a turn because you don't want to be here or here. Your placement with these archers is going to be very important. Alright, I'm not going to do examples of retargeting priority. The rules pretty much cover it. They want to attack the cell with the most zombies. Sorry, the most players. Otherwise, if there's a split, they attack the one with the most noise. And if you can't make a determination based on those rules, the player gets to pick, which is pretty nice. Really quickly, my thought process on this expansion, I think it's a really solid expansion. I'm not sure that you need it. It does bring some interesting aspects to the game, but one complaint a lot of people have is zombies are supposed to be pretty mindless. These guys are able to shoot at range, and one of the problems I think that's pretty crazy is my archers, if there's somebody far away from me and my archer is amazing, I still have to roll to hit. These zombies don't roll to hit. They fire better than our heroes. And all of them apparently have longbows. Longbows seem like they're fairly rare when you're searching for things. But no, all the zombies have longbows. They can pop you at range. They also have a dagger for melee. They never miss. I can understand why you don't think they fit the scenario for the game. They're not mindless zombies. They're extremely skilled at what they do. And they die pretty easy. They move pretty mindlessly like normal zombies, but somehow they're able to shoot amazingly well. So it's up to you on thematically if you want to incorporate them. My thoughts are these archers do bring something new to the game, which is really interesting. But if you have a real problem with zombies being somewhat intelligent or very, very skilled at archery, then I wouldn't buy them. I think this one's kind of up to everyone. I don't think they're as needed like zombie bosses or NPCs. I think those boxes are amazing. I think this is a good box. Really, it's up to each individual buyer if you want it. In my opinion, it's not something that everybody needs, but I do like the box. Alright, thank you for watching. I would like to say thank you to the following supporters: